So, what was it like growing up during the Cold War?
Well, I don't really remember very much about it, to tell you the truth. I asked Grandpa if that was when there were long gas lines, but he said no, that wasn't the right time. But I just remember the Cuban Missile Crisis and how nervous everybody was about the possibility of having armaments that close to the United States.
Yeah. So about the now, Paul, if you want to say anything, you can go right ahead.
Yep.
Oh, about going up during the Cold. Well, the war never really ended. After the Second World War was over, we were still enemies with communism and enemies with Russia, and they were a very evil empire. They killed millions and millions of their own citizens, and it was a very oppressive regime. Nobody could get in there. Nobody could know what was going on. They were a great threat to us.
Yeah. So about the Cuban Missile Crisis, do you remember it? And do you remember where you were at the time?
Yeah, I I remember because my good friend in Denver and I were going to go into the business of selling bomb shelters,
Oh yeah.
which we never did do, by the way.
First of all, we didn't have the money to invest, but it's a good thing we didn't, because I don't think the bomb shelter business ever took off. But a lot of people were worried enough that they considered living in having bomb shelters to escape to.
Yeah. So, last question. Can you remember when the Berlin Wall came down?
Yes, I can remember Reagan saying, "Mr. Khrushchev, tear down this wall."
Yeah.
That's what I remember about it. What do you remember,
No,
Grandpa?
no, that's pretty much it. But it was that was the downfall of the communist regime. They opened up the East and the West, and then it became an entirely different type of nation.
But it's what do we remember about it? It's what he's asking. But do you know that you had a cousin of mine, who was in the Secret Service at that time, and he was supposed to be portraying the rich American playboy living in Berlin.
Yeah.
And he never wanted to discuss his experiences. But wasn't that during the Cold War?
Yeah.
That was during the Cold War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went on to be Senator Hecht, a senator from Nevada.
Oh yeah.
You probably heard of him.
Yeah.
And his work was instrumental in getting hundreds of thousands of Jews delivered from Russia to Israel,
Mhm.
which they became the backbone of the economy in Israel.
Mhm. Okay, great. I guess that's it for
So
the
you
interview
have a
part.
very famous relative who was instrumental